My name is Sonia Fitzpatrick. I'm a chartered physiotherapist, a Pilates instructor and a riding instructor, and I'm very passionate about how posture and Pilates can help your riding. So first of all, we're going to look at exercises on the gym ball and your ideal position, and then we're going to try some different exercises to experiment with movement of our pelvis and our hips on the ball. Please watch the video that I've made on standing posture and identifying your posture types before you watch this video, and if possible the video about sitting in the saddle and the posture types in the saddle. That will make this experience more enjoyable for you. So the ideal position in the saddle and on the gym ball is where the pelvis is vertical at the front. The waistband should look horizontal, your arms should hang vertically by your side because your shoulders are back and square, so there should be a line from your ear through your shoulder to your elbow and down through the centre of your hip, which is the centre of the seam of your joggers. First of all, we're going to look at the movement of the ball forwards. So I'm going to lift my arms so you can see my waistband, and I'm going to roll the ball forwards and then bring it into the upright position. We're going to roll the ball forwards and bring it into the upright position. Think about the weight in the sit bones and the feet. Are they even, or do you have more weight through one sit bone or more through one foot? Think about the weight through the sit bones as you roll backwards. The weight increases, and as you come up, the weight increases slightly at the front. So as you go back, there's more weight on the sit bones, and as you come up, there's more weight at the front of the pelvis. The other thing we're going to do now is to go backwards, roll the ball backwards, and then to the vertical position. Again, don't do this movement if it causes you any pain or discomfort, but feel how much movement is available in your spine as you tip your pelvis forwards and push the gym ball back. Then we're going to come back to that seated position in the ideal vertical position where the waistband is vertical, the stomach is held in, the front of the pelvis is vertical and the waistband is horizontal. And then we're going to check our mirror and our alignment of our shoulders and our ears and our elbows, and we're going to go side to side. So you're going to move your pelvis from side to side, maintaining the vertical alignment of the pelvis, not arching or tilting the pelvis, but maintaining that vertical position. So I'm going to show you that from the front. As you sit on the ball, with both sit bones evenly taking weight and both feet, just see if you wiggle from side to side, which sit bone do you tend to take more weight on? There's always one sit bone that you feel more comfortable with. So we're going to test that. We're going to move from side to side, from sit bone to sit bone. First of all, the movement is small and it just involves the pelvis. And feel if you take the weight on your left sit bone, so this is my right sit bone, or your left sit bone. Do you take the weight on the same foot as the sit bone, or do you push through the opposite foot? So just wiggle your hips from side to side. The pelvis is tipping and tilting sideways. Your waistband tilts one way and then the other, but from the side, your pelvis maintains its vertical position. So my waistband from the side looks vertical. Then we're going to take that movement a bit bigger. We're going to side bend through the whole body. So as I take my weight through this sit bone and this foot, I lift the pelvis on the opposite side and tilt my head towards that side. Then I'm going to go in the opposite direction. I'm going to weight bear through this sit bone and this knee as I side bend my body, my head, and I lift this side of my pelvis. And then I'm going to do the opposite. So you can either have your hands on your knees if you feel unbalanced, or you can hold your hands as if you're holding the reins. And then move the ball from side to side, tilting your head and lifting your pelvis so that you feel the weight distribution through both hips. Then we're going to come small and smaller and smaller until we come back to the centre. Now we're going to do a slightly different movement. We're going to move the ball to one side and take all of our weight more straight on our right sit bone as we try and lift the left leg. Then we're going to slide our whole body straight over our left sit bone, and we're going to see if we can lift our right leg. try and establish which is easier for you. Normally, if you're right-handed, and I asked you to kick a ball, you would probably kick it with your right leg, which means you'd be standing on your left leg. So for me, I'm right-handed, and I find it much easier to lift my right leg and weight bear on my left. So in the saddle, I'm very aware that I tend to load my left sit bone more than my right, and I have to always correct this when I want to ride straight. Therefore, I find lateral movements where I need to take more weight on my left sit bone much easier to aid than movements where I need to take more weight on my right sit bone. So I have to be aware of this and try and emphasise that movement in my body when I'm on the horse. Okay, the next exercise we're going to do is to take the weight over to the one sit bone and see if we can lift and straighten the leg and then pop it down. Transfer the weight to the other foot, lift the leg and straighten it out and then pop it down. And this will encourage a little more time on that sit bone and on that leg, and you're trying to keep your body as symmetrical as possible. So this is more like the weight transference that we do on the horse, because we keep our body centred over the horse. As we take a little bit more weight on one sit bone, we don't lean to the side, we keep our body really upright and feel the weight through the sit bones. Again, we're going to practice this until we find it just as easy to do it on the right or the left leg, so that when we do lateral movements which increase the weight bearing on one sit bone to encourage the horse to move in that direction, it becomes just as easy as aiding it in the opposite direction. Thank you for watching. We're going to do some more gym ball exercises in the next video, so please watch the first two videos first if you haven't done so already before we go on to the next video, and I'll see you in the next one. See you then.